Hello, hello, everyone. And welcome, Paige. Thank you so much for joining us. We're super excited.
Pleasure.
Yay.
Yay! We're super excited to have you on and also to be able to highlight you and your business and everything that you do because it's not just business, but we'll share a little bit more about that in a minute. So everyone, I'm going to introduce you to Paige Johnson. She is a career entrepreneur from Washington, D.C. area. She specializes in consulting industry for both government and public sector clients, as well as real estate and small business customers. Paige enjoys spending all her free time with as a sports mom and traveling with her family. Welcome again, Paige.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We're super, super excited for this. So, really quick, I just read your bio, but we just want to know a little bit more about yourself. So, can you introduce yourself a little bit and just share about your background, your career, family, everything you want to share with us?
Yeah, I'll start with family. I was a mom before I was anything that I mentioned today. So I'm a mom of three boys. I'm a boy mom. I am a sports mom. They're all athletes. All of them are involved in either basketball, football, or golf. So we are pretty busy around that. And I have built a career around entrepreneurship, focused on just kind of having the flexibility and the time to also raise a family. So that means like a lot to me. And everything I'm building alongside my husband is, for that flexibility and to really, make the most out of the time I have with my kids, because I know they're not going to be young forever.
No, that makes me sad. You saying that?
Well, we're team mom over here. All of us have boys. I mean, boys.
Team boys.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. It keeps me on my toes. They're not scared to tell me, like, what are you wearing? What's wrong with
Yes.
your hair?
They have no filter. Those
No.
boys.
No filter.
You gotta love
Uh,
them and for that, though. I do like appreciate that for
I kind of
sure.
appreciate it.
I
Yeah.
do.
Whatever my husband's like scared to tell me, like my sons don't hold back. So
hey.
Great.
So
total
true.
self-awareness over here.
So, Paige, I'm glad that you mentioned, that your family first and, you were a mom before being a businesswoman. Will you share some of the challenges that if you face any challenges building your business, not only as a mom, but also as a minority?
Oh gosh. The number one challenge is trying to build a career alongside a business, because the number one challenge for a minority and for the minorities, and at least in this country, the United States, is money, is funding, to really. I'll say I know that there's a fast way to business and there's a slow way, right? Like the poor man's way, as I call it. And it's basically bootstrapping, right? There's no one around to just give you to pull equity out of their house to give you to start a business. There's no one around to give you a loan of $1 million to get started. So you have to bootstrap. And for me, what I found is the best way to bootstrap my business is, my career. So I had to really, dig a little deeper into my education. I went and got my master's degree. I took no breaks. I was pregnant my last year of undergrad in college, and that freaked me out because I was like, wow, I should definitely probably take a break and have my baby and, consider marrying and getting married. Me and my husband met in high school. We weren't married. But I didn't. I went straight through. I said, you know what? A baby's probably going to be easier than a toddler. So I got very strategical and I said, I'm just going to go straight through to my master's program. And while the baby's sleeping, I'm going to study. And that's exactly what I did. And so I was finished with my master's program in like a year and a half. I was very strategic. I cannot say that the keyword strategic here. I made sure that my master program was on the weekends. So every Saturday for a year and a half, my husband was watching our child, and I was able to knock out my master's degree and hold down a full-time job during the week. And during the week, I was just kind of like climbing the ranks. Didn't feel like it, but I was climbing the ranks in my position that led me into my career, which is consulting.
That's pretty
That's
amazing.
awesome.
And there's so many like similarities that we have too, because like when I was in college, I was pregnant last year, graduating everything. I'm like, we're walking with the baby. I don't care. No. I was like, I had the baby on like a Thursday, and like next week I was back in class. They're like, didn't you just have a baby? I'm like, you have to. I'm like, we
Yes.
don't have
I
time to
will
take a break.
I will never forget that day in class where we had to like go around the room and introduce ourselves. And I was like, I just had a baby 2 weeks
I
ago. Everyone looked at me and like, not even like in like horrified, just like amazed, like,
Yeah.
what? Like, you can cancel these plans? And I'm like, nope, I'm here. My baby's good.
Why
I'm
not?
good. I was trying to be a breastfeeding mom. So I was like breastfeeding in the car, and I mean, these are the challenges. These are
Hmm.
the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
It
never
is.
forget it.
I feel like that also helps us grow. So as a whole, because when you're building, and not that it's easier for someone who didn't, who doesn't have kids to build a business, it's not a ton easier, but it kind of makes it like, we're doing this, like we're doing this, like we're not gonna, there's no excuse about
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always the reason. Like, I don't know the motivation for someone who doesn't have kids, but I know my motivation was always my kids. It was, and I don't know if that helped, like with my not like never giving up, but I do know like that was always my motivation. If you ever asked me, I would always say my kids. And I need something to pass down to my kids. I need security for my kids. I need
Yep.
all of these things.
Absolutely. And I think that's our drive for a
That's
lot
I
of
was gonna say that a lot of us, that's our drive. That's our
Yeah,
why.
like we
that's
want to
One
why.
of
be
our
able to
whys.
have, yep, we want to be able to have that time with our kids and spend time with our families, and in this country where we are driven to, pour into our careers, which,
For sure.
no,
Yeah.
whoever wants to do that, that's good for them. But, the most of us want to have some kind of balance and be able to see them grow.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's a lot of challenges, as a mom, as a Black woman, as a woman, period, like in America, trying to do business and everything else. But what advice would you give yourself or someone who's looking to do the similar, career path, or just even getting started in their own business and trying to figure it out? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to have a strategy. And there's this saying, I think it's by Eisenhower, which is like a plan means nothing, but planning is everything, right? You can make a plan, but the plan is tomorrow, that plan means nothing. But if you're constantly planning, that's also the same as strategizing. And I think that's really important. I think that's how I was able to kind of dodge the pitfalls of, growing my business. I think that's also why I was able to adapt all the time. Um, I would say the real estate industry is the number one industry that has taught me about having a plan, right? Doesn't really matter, because if inflation goes up and the economy is in trouble, and all types of different variables, like there's just so many variables to just having a roof over your head. You have to always be like in the process of planning something. Like you have to always be thinking and strategizing and paying attention. So I would definitely advise people on coming up with a strategy and a plan, and then always going back to that as your foundation, to kind of change it, grow with it, and make it something like you really stand on, like a foundation.
I like that. I like that. It is
I like
true.
that too. Yep. It's very true. So, would you say that you face any fears while or do you still face any fears?
Um, I mean, I have fears about, again, like getting funds, right? I feel like it's getting harder. I've noticed things, as I talk to banks and lenders, and Even like community development organizations, nonprofits who are specifically designated to hand out, funds to small businesses. And I have concerns about being able to get the working capital needed to scale my business and keep people employed, um, savings, things like that. It's not getting easier. Um, and I'm scared to admit it may be getting harder. And so that's like a fear I may have. It's tough to say the word fear because I don't fear a lot. I just kind of pivot when I have to,
Yeah.
and I look for the money where it is. But if there was something to fear, it would be the tightening of the money right now.
That's hard. And like any business, we do need some kind of capital. We need to be able to like tap into those, like resources, and it's
Yeah,
hard. It's not easy.
yeah.
So this is something fun. We have a couple of fun questions before we wrap it up. The first one is, what do you like to do for fun?
Um, oh my gosh, people are gonna be so caught off guard by this. I like to garden.
Ooh.
Oh.
Garden. I am always thinking about going to get soil and weird stuff. People are like, "What?" I'm like, "I need soil. I need." I love gardening. I love it.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
To some people.
I love plants and I love,
Yep.
it I can understand why. It brings peace and it's just like
Yes.
a relaxing, I don't know, to distract your mind from everything and seeing something grow. Besides
It's
your kids, right?
yeah, it's like they're your kids too.
Yeah.
It just it grounds you. It grounds me.
Yeah.
It grounds
Hmm.
me. So that's like my favorite thing to do. I'm excited for spring and
Me
just
too.
plants and greenery and everything.
Yes. I love it.
I love that. So what is your favorite personal development book?
Ooh. I think, and it's a really like more business, but Think and Grow Rich was like, I don't know, it just changed me.
Yeah.
It changed me.
That's
I
a
don't
good
know
book.
yeah, that
That's a
was
good
my
book.
favorite book. And that's like the book I'd always give anyone who's starting in on the venture that, I started with. Even if it's career or business, you have to have it's a mindset.
It is.
Yep. That's
It's
right.
you're not, yeah, it's a mindset for sure.
Yeah.
What do you like best, night or day?
I like the nighttime. I like night. I like because I know I can relax. I know that there's fun in there. And then I know there's some good sleep coming. So I like the night.
Like that.
What is your favorite time of the day?
12 o'clock p.m. 12 o'clock p.m.
Do you feel like you
Um,
should?
PM?
what was that?
Why? Why?
Oh, um, because I know like, and again, this is an American mindset because other countries work on different times, but I know that I can take a break. I know that I can disappear. I know that someone will say, oh, she's probably at lunch, or she's probably not at her computer, or you know what I mean? Like, it's that 1 hour that I know I can disappear during the day.
I like
I
that.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Who is your hero?
My mommy,
Oh.
Mm.
my mom, she's like a genius, like intellectually and spiritually, she's like a genius.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. And last but not least, describe yourself in one word.
Ooh. So I just learned this word not too long ago. It's an ambivert.
What does that mean?
So, and I never knew, like, I always described myself as an extrovert, but an introvert. And people were like, well, that's not possible because they're exact opposites. And so I found out ambivert is someone who is an extrovert around people that they're very comfortable with, and an introvert around basically outsiders, like people that you don't know, you're filling them out. So that's an ambivert. They take some traits from both sides.
Ooh,
Hmm,
I'm that too.
interesting. Yeah.
I need to read more because I always describe myself the same way too. I'm like, I can be an extrovert, around everyone who's uncomfortable, but then like, when I'm in not my comfort zone, I definitely become this introvert person. It's like,
Yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, ambivert.
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Perfect.
Well, we are so thankful to have you here today, and we want to share with everyone, where they can find you if they want to know more about what you're doing and how you can help them in your businesses. Let us know.
So you can find me at my website. I am Paige Ashley, Paige, ashley.com. And also on social media at I am Paige Ashley.
Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
thank
Thanks
you,
for having
everyone.
me.
Thank you, Paige. We
This is too
appreciate
much
you.
fun. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, ladies.